All right, so my mentor taught me something, and he was humble enough to admit to me that he learned this, and I'm going to share it with you very shortly. He learned it from the marketing expert and guru Dan Kennedy, and that is about the worst number in business. A lot of people do business and they ignore this one thing, and because they ignore this one thing, their business suffers, and then they suffer. Because the thing with suffering is that if a situation means that you are going to suffer, it means that you can suffer for a really, really long time if you don't know how to stem the tide and reverse that suffering. So what is this thing? It's the worst number. What is this worst number in business? That number is the number one. So here's how my mentor explained it to me. He said the worst number in business is number one, Ronald. Make sure that you don't have one of anything. Don't have one advertising platform. Don't have one supplier. Don't have one vendor. Don't have one standout employee, right? If you're going to have employees, have a number of standout employees so that if something bad happens, let's say somebody dies, right? Your business doesn't grind to a halt because somebody died, or somebody quits for greener pasture somewhere else, your business doesn't stagnate, right? Don't have one supplier, because if your supplier raises their prices and you can't pay those prices, suddenly you're out of goods, you're out of service, and that's it, your business stands. Don't have one customer. What if your customer finds a better deal elsewhere? What if your customer finds a better situation somewhere else? What if they decide, oh, you know what, this service that you provide to us, we can provide it for ourselves now, so we don't need you anymore? That is the danger of one. So also with advertising, if you have just one platform where you run your advertisements, say Facebook or YouTube, and there is no other platform where you can quickly set up an account and start advertising, or you don't understand how to advertise on other platforms, if something happens, I mean, think about Facebook. Facebook bans ad accounts right, left, and center all the time. So if Facebook bans your ad account, suddenly you're out of business. You can't advertise, you can't make sales, you can't bring money into your business. So one is the worst number in business. For the longest time, I had one standout customer. I loved them. They loved me. You know, we did great work for them. We earned them millions and millions and millions of dollars. And then one day, they sold the company, right? And we're happy that they sold the company. I mean, you know, on the back of the work we did for them, they sold that company for tens of millions of dollars. But the new owners said to us, we don't need you guys anymore. So we have our own in-house marketing team who can do all of our marketing for us. And that was it. Overnight, we lost 90% of our revenue. But thankfully, we had other things. In fact, we were already thinking about quitting the business model and going into some other things. So even though we lost that client, it was pretty easy for us to get back in the loop and get back to doing business again. So imagine if we didn't have that. Imagine if we didn't have that cushion. Imagine if we had just this one person, which we did at the time, but if it was just them and nothing else, and our revenue dropped 90% overnight, it would mean that we wouldn't be able to pay our staff. It meant that we wouldn't be able to pay our bills. We wouldn't be able to meet our commitments. And that, my friends, is a highway, like super highway down to business hell. So always think in terms of twos and threes and multiples. Always have more than one big client, always have more than one customer, always have more than one supplier, always have more than one place that you can run your advertisements and put your business up and showcase it to the world. If you do this and you do it properly, then very little is going to happen to phase you and knock you off balance.